He is called the Marine Michelangelo. Wyland has been painting his famous whale murals around the world for 25 years. We caught up with Wyland at a studio in Laguna Beach, California to talk about his artwork and his mission to save the ocean.
I grew up, in Detroit, and of course Michigan, surrounded by the Great Lakes, so I'm a water sign, a water person. And for me, the lakes were my ocean until I realized, hey, the real ocean is here. So when I was 14, I came out here to Southern California, to Laguna Beach. And right over here, I actually went into the ocean for the first time. I kind of immersed myself. And when I came up under a wave, 2 gray whales actually spouted right in front of me. So it was like seeing dinosaurs, of course. I was 14 years old. And I decided at that point that the whales and the ocean would be the focal point of my art going forward. And 10 years later, ironically, I painted my first whaling wall mural of those very whales that I saw on that day. So it's pretty exciting. In fact, I painted them right on the side of this building. In 1981, I painted my first of 100 whaling walls. So that was 27 years ago. And then recently I just completed my last one, my 100th whaling wall, called Hands Across the Oceans, and I did that one in Beijing for the Green Olympics.
We asked him, did he always know he wanted to be a famous artist?
Yeah, I've been painting, since I was 4. I used to paint dinosaurs and Jurassic scenes when I was 4 years old. So I really liked the dinosaurs. And then, I became interested in the ocean by watching Jacques Cousteau. And he had a series on every Sunday called The Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau. And he was like an ocean icon, And he instilled in me a passion for the ocean and conservation at an early age. And then when I came out and saw the ocean and experienced it and saw those whales, I decided that I would dedicate my life to using my art to raise awareness and today, cause action, inspire people to get involved.
And yes, he has inspired people to get involved. Now that Wyland is a world-renowned artist, he is constantly thinking of ways to get others to have the same kind of passion he has for the ocean. He started a non-profit organization and has even partnered with the UN to reach out to youth and give back.
This is my swimming pool. It's called the Pacific.
Long gone are the days of being a self-described starving artist.
That starving artist thing, that's overrated. And I went from a starving artist to a super successful one. And with that success, I had more opportunities to start a foundation and give something back. That's been my focus, is to try to share my art and the message, but more importantly, get kids involved through the arts and science. 15 years ago, I decided to start my own foundation that would create art and science programs for schools. And we developed this curriculum called the Wyland Ocean Challenge. To celebrate the International Year of the Oceans in '98. So to support the curriculum, I had an ocean truck that we took some of this sand and we made an ocean experience for kids where when they entered the National Van Line's truck, they're a drop of water, and then they kind of go through this whole water cycle and learn about clean oceans. And we took that to 50 states in 50 days. Every school I went to, we painted ocean murals, and they did essays and wrote songs and poems. And it really, I believe, empowered kids to become, ambassadors for the planet. Many kids that I talked to or painted with in the early days have now become marine biologists and scientists, and started environmental groups. And so, that's a great thing. If you do this long enough, you start seeing the impact that you're having. And, really cool. My group and I, the Wyland Foundation, we're small but mighty. We have no problem thinking big. I mean, that's what artists do. But I'm a dolphin guy, but I also like humpback whales because they sing these great, mysterious songs. I started a record company, Wyland Records, and we just did a beautiful jazz CD called Rhythms of the Sea. And with all the great jazz artists of New York, Vincent Herring, Steve Turre, Paulette McWilliams, all these wonderful jazz artists, I wrote the music and the melodies. And then on the last one, the whales actually do the last song. It's very haunting. And then, the singers in the sea are the humpbacks. And I wanted to make sure that they were included in this new jazz CD that really is inspired by the ocean. What I like to do is I like to dive in the ocean, and I've been doing that for over 25 years. And I take all that inspiration, all that beauty that I see in the coral reefs, swimming with great whales, even the blue whale a couple years ago in the Sea of Cortez. I take all that information and that beauty and I put it in my paintings on canvas, in my sculptures, my photography, all the different mediums that I use to create art, and also life-size on the sides of buildings. So, you know, it really has helped me a lot to be able to be with the animals on their terms. You know, I'm also an underwater photographer, and in fact, one of the images actually won the international photo contest at the Smithsonian called Ocean Views, and I was just there last week, and it's at the Smithsonian, of course, with the opening of the Ocean Hall, and then to have all my murals that I did with the kids in Beijing there in front of the Smithsonian and in front of the Capitol and the Washington Monument. Very exciting time.
So he wondered, what hasn't Wyland done, and what more could he possibly do? Well, Wyland wants to make sure the ocean is left in good hands. He's even developing his own line of paint.
It's all water-based, because I have to have safe paint. You know, I did oils for years and years, but now I've got, you know, ecological paints.
His art has even expanded to living marine life.
That's Junior. This is a desert tortoise, California desert tortoise, and I adopted him.
So now that Wyland is finished with his whaling walls, he is building a legacy of conservationism and has a message for people around the world.
We want you to save the turtles. Without water, we really don't have a quality of life for ourselves, not only to protect the fish and whales, because we're seeing the oceans becoming empty, the waters are being polluted, and fish are dying, animals are coming on shore, they're getting all these illnesses, and so are people, by the way. So we need to reverse that. We need to create a sea change in this century. We need an environmental renaissance, and I think art's going to play a very important role in engaging people on a very personal level.
The man with an imagination as big as the ocean is not only creating beautiful artwork, but also making the world a better place. I'm Emily Brandenburg.